All right, folks. Good morning. Good evening. Wow, there goes the S&P 500. What came out at 10 o'clock? Let's go ahead and get airborne. A lot going on. Good stuff. Good flow this morning. Good meditation. Good brief. A lot of good things going on. A lot of, we'll talk about the contrarian trade here in a little bit. But man, there's not one person in my network that's bullish at all for the next year. Maybe towards the mid, as we talked about, to the mid, maybe end of this year. But man, it's gearing up to be an ugly year. What came out at 10? The ISMs. Oh, okay. Well, obviously something wasn't good. Forgot the ISM was coming out. All right. Well, we'll get to it in a little bit here. The jolts. January 17 to 20. Going to do a 3-day kind of full throttle, and then I'm actually in Chicago for Martin Luther King weekend for a hockey tournament with my boy Jack. I think Susie and Keely are up in Charlotte, right? Any 3-day weekend, it's kid tournament weekend. So Jack and I it's Buckley's across America. Jack and I in Chicago. Going to be miserable. Chicago, January. That's why we moved. But if anybody's around up in Chicago, let me know. Maybe we can grab a lunch or dinner or something like that, depending on how the hockey schedule is. Or I'm going to meet Susie. I think she's in Charlotte for a cheerleading competition. Let us know. And then I'll get back from that, and then we'll do a little full throttle. I think maybe that weekend, Sledge and I are talking. I might fly the jet up to Nashville, do some foundation stuff. So if you're around the Nashville area, let us know. And love meeting TGO members when we head out around the country. So that was a quick knee-jerk reaction and nothing. I mean, the prices, that was the knee-jerk reaction. That's nothing. I think I was just going to say, I think the opposite, and look at the S&P 500. I love algos and bullshit. And then when the humans get involved, right? I was like, that's not making sense to me. And then I look over here and the market's making sense. Okay, let me get rid of all of my comparisons here. Stop. Yeah, it was weird. That was a slam up. All right, let's go. So the link to register for Full Throttle is in there. Please make sure you share it on your social media. Tell your family, your friends, because this year is going to be just as interesting as last year, if not more so. The Republican stupidity that's going on. I can't stand McCarthy. I can't stand any of them. I can't stand any of the Republicans. They're rhinos. They're awful. Well, look at that slam up, slam. It's really weird trading going on, but that's tactical shit. So, but this is comical. The Democrats are literally grabbing popcorn and just sitting there laughing at us. Here's the funnier part is Hakeem Jeffries, the Democrat minority leader, is a 3-time election denier. 3-time election denier. So a quick reminder about hypocrisy. It's only hypocrisy when the other side does it. Republican election deniers are terrorist, anti-American enemies of the state that need to be thrown in jail or Twitter deleted or everything. They're insurrectionists. When Democrats are election deniers, it's because it's based in fact and truth and Russians and everything. Right? Stacey Abrams for 4 years was convinced she was the governor of Georgia. When she denies elections, everything's fine. But anyway, Hakeem Jeffries, the minority leader, is a clown. He's an election denier, but he's sitting there laughing at this shit show. I bring this up. Whoa, here we go. There's the SPX. I bring this up because I got the election wrong. And because I said, hey, if the Republicans win and there's, some gridlock, it'll be good. The market's going to be, we might get a little bit of a relief rally on a Republican win and, stopping the shit show. That's wrong. That's not going to happen, obviously. So we're in a world of hurt this year, and it's Ukraine. It's going to look at the S&P 500. I love it. Did everybody in the joint brief yesterday? Even the solo Amazon members got a free trade. If you got your Tredge on, the Tredge that I had on at the height of yesterday's low, which we might see again today, was up like $3,000. And the Tredge we put on yesterday was already making money. So we're before I get strategic, this is going to happen. We're not having 2 more weeks of straight and level to the right of chop. That's not going to happen. The market's going to break, and it's going to break to the downside, in my opinion. All right, so Republicans are stupid. They're awful. And we had a call spread at 37.50, and it's losing, right? How can a call spread at 30, I don't know what trade you're talking about. A call spread at 37.50? There's a bear put spread at 37.50. Ain't no call spreads that Wiz has on. All right, let's go. Alibaba shares jump as China regulators grant Ant $1.5 billion capital. How many of you are in the FXI burner trade and sitting here going, awesome, we were right? Did everybody or most of you have the FXI trade on? Good looking trade. Now it's going to get hammered with the S&P 500 dropping, but let me get rid of that real quick. We nailed this, folks. This was a great trade. I said get in around here, long-term bullish on FXI, synthetic stock. And then when we hit the bottom down here, we put on the burner trade, the bull put spread, the 26-25 bull put spread, and the 30 calls. Now the 30 calls have been dead for a while, but now they're coming to life. And the trade still got 2.5 weeks to work. The 30 upside calls. So good looking trade there, but interesting that here we go, man. QE, China QE, man. We're just going to throw a shit pot of money into Alibaba. This is the Fed. This is what happened in the United States, and now China's doing it. So this is obviously bullish for FXI. So that's why FXI saw a nice pop today, up 3.5%, and looking good. So there we go. So there's the FXI. So the news is out, and it's good news, and you get a pop. There's half the gap. I might do, we're weekly options. We're going to go half an hour. My New Year's resolution is to be on time with my briefs. Start and end on time. Maybe a weekly bear call spread. I'd sell. Okay. All right. To Ukraine's. Sorry. People aren't muted. My bad. It's part of my checklist. Guys, when you enter the room, please make sure your camera's off and you're muted. That should be your checklist as well. Okay? Do your pre-flight, and I'll do mine. I didn't mute everybody. So all those Russians are dead because they were using cell phones. Ukraine's doing great against Russia because we're battling for Ukraine. Ukraine soldiers are dying, which is awesome, right? Because American soldiers and American lives are far superior than any other nation in the world. Isn't that a little creepy? Doesn't that sound a little Nazi-ish? I love the people in this country who are like, well, we're not risking any lives, so this is a great trade. What did you just say? And they think that that sounds like good. It's an old me probably would have thought that way. We're not risking any U.S. lives. Blow the Russians up. Here's a shitload of rockets to kill people. That ain't current me. Current me is like, how dare you assume that a 20-year-old Ukrainian's life is far superior than my 22-year-old son's life, who's taking his Navy Officer Candidate School test this morning, and I'm stressed about him. Isn't that like that? That's total limousine liberal. That is total elite in this country. First of all, the elites voting for speaker today, ain't none of their kids wearing a uniform. I like fighting proxy wars because none of our people die. That's fucking a horror. How dare you think like that? Your life, your soul is superior to others. That's how wars start. But anyway, I already muted, folks. Everybody's muted. Everybody good, right? Already did this, guys. Please mute yourself. It says everybody's muted. So Zelensky is cracking down on Ukrainian media. Isn't that great? He's cracking down on religions. You can only practice the whatever government-approved religion. You can only, now it's only government-approved media. Does this strike you as a little fucked up? We're also rounding up Russians. We're going to put them in intern. Oh, this sounds a little familiar, doesn't it? Well, they're Japanese, Wiz. We're at war with Japan. Let's put them in internment camps. We are supporting a regime that's doing what we did in World War II. Those are Russians. Lock them up. That's the Russian religion. It's outlawed. Wow. Sick of this war. I'm sick of funding it. Stop. Fucking fight on your own, guys. Enough. Russia expresses extreme concern after, now there's Ukrainian missiles landing in Belarus. Belarus toughens its rhetoric, adding to concerns that Moscow wants to draw Minsk more directly into the Ukraine war. I feel like I'm watching war games. Do you remember at the end of war games when the Whopper computer starts coming through all the scenarios? They strike first. We had Belarus campaign in Ukraine. Remember that? As it ran through the millions of potential. That's what's going on right now, folks. 6 months ago, Zelensky, we are in a purely defensive war. We will never attack Russia because it's terrorists who do that. Oh, now we're striking deep into Russia. Now there's some shit going on in the country. Okay. Let's end this part of the brief. I'm wasting time. It's going to get worse. Okay, so there goes the S&P 500. 3,800 seems to be kind of this. It's the 3850. It's you want some good iron condors for the past 2 weeks. The 3850, 3,800. Look at that range, man. That's it. Look at today's market. 3,850, 3,800. You want some iron condor, baby? SPX, 3,850, 3,800. Take a look at, it doesn't get any easier than that. There's 3,850. There's 3,800. Look, boom, 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 boom. Graham, at this point, it's all U.S. missiles. It's all NATO missiles. They don't have anything. Ukraine doesn't have weapons facilities or factories making anything. Russia's blown them up. Every Ukrainian missile, the Raytheon or the whatever, whoever makes it, that killed the 400 Russians yesterday or 2 days ago, U.S., the NASMs, the The AMRAMs that I used to carry are now in ground based that can shoot. I love using $1 to $2 million US made missiles to take down a 30 grand Iranian Shaheed drone. That's a good investment, isn't it? Go watch the joint replay from yesterday. Drone warfare makes war more likely, worse, and longer. So, what's going on in today's market? Well, the jolts thing. Oh, this afternoon. Well, let's get into it. Let's go look at the flight schedule. What's this afternoon? The Fed minutes. What is so interesting about this line now? That. I might be wrong, but years ago, this used to be an orange folder. I got to check with my buddies, man. I know people here. Maybe I'm infinite now. I'm not older. I'm infinite years old. I always thought that was an amber because I remember like a year or two ago going, I used to never think Fed minute. They already happened. The minutes are old. The dude talked. And now we're getting to see kind of what they wrote about a month ago. Yay. Now I believe this thing is red. Like, oh, high impact expected. In the old days, the Fed minutes were a joke. So at 2 o'clock this afternoon, get ready. All right, Rick, maybe you and I are infinity together, man, because I seem to, my old memory serves me because you know what? I'm right. Because I remember a couple Fed meetings, I think I got blown out of a trade. I'm like, I cannot believe this. And then I learned, man, I'm like, Fed minutes now are volatile. They're not dangerous. They're volatile. So this afternoon is going to be get ready for slam, slam, slam all over the place. And if you're Johnny on the spot or Jill on the spot, you can do some good work. I love giving a brief and then a day, 2 days, or however long later, seeing everything I said appear in media. It's an ego moment, but check this out. If you were in the brief yesterday, what did I tell you? I said after getting destroyed, last year was the worst year since sitting in the board of trade as a fat 42-year-old. Me. 2008 was the last time the S&P got destroyed like this. Bear market, 20%. We nailed it. Shit show, train wreck, bear market, recession. They changed the definition, Wiz. Who cares? They're going to change it again this year when we're in a deeper one. But ladies and gentlemen, what did I tell you yesterday? I said, usually, historically, let's be present, not right now. Historically, when the S&P gets destroyed, what happens? The next year, it rallies back. Back-to-back down years are what? Extremely rare. Extremely rare. But this time, folks, this is why you have to be present. This is why sometimes, not all the time, I laugh at technical analysis people. The left side of the chart matters nothing. This is today's market. All the other back-to-back years, 2008 is not 2023. In 2008, I was at the Options News Network as the host and shooting on the floor of the SIBO. I wasn't talking about potential nuclear war with Ukraine. If you had told me in 2008 that inflation would be up north of 8%, a pandemic would be unleashed by China on the world and we'd do nothing about it, the Fed raising interest rates, I mean, if you had told me all of these things going on, I'd be like, oh my God. So be present. The S&P has seen only consecutive years of negative returns 3 times since 1957. 73, 74. I was a youngin'. And 01, 02, 03. I remember that. I was trading, sitting in the room of VFA 201, the hunters of Strike Fighter Squadron 201, man. furloughed airline pilot, keynote speaker, trader, full-time reserve bum, with returns getting worse in the second and third year down on each of those occasions. Wow. So since 57, the S&P has ended the year in the red 18 times, including obviously last year. On 14 occasions, we've had nice growth. And while history, I don't care about history, but I'm going to brief this. And while history says this should be an upbeat year, meaning on average, the S&P gained 15% after getting shellacked. The odds are stacked against investors this time. War in Ukraine, COVID, Fed, everything I just rambled, inflation, consumer spending, corporate earnings, the jobs market, the housing market. They didn't even name a couple of the things that we brief as really shitty. So let me finish that section with this. If you're a contrarian, if you're the person that says, if everybody in the room wants to do this, I will do the exact opposite, then load the boat. You fly and fight your own airplane. I'm flying and fighting my own airplane. My job is to give you an intelligence brief, and then I man up and I go fly and shoot my missiles. You man up or woman up and shoot yours. If you're a left side of the chart, 15 times, Wiz, out of 18, or whatever it is, the market's had a big rally. Load up, baby. Now's the perfect time to get bullish. I'll finish with what I said yesterday. Halfway through the year, the Fed pivots, pauses, whatever P you want to use. It'll be a pause, then it'll be a pivot. I think halfway through the year, we get a strong rally, fall-ish. Ain't right now. This is going to happen. Back to where we lifted off for COVID. Okay? But I'm an options trader. You're an options trader. You could do the exact opposite of what I'm saying. That ain't going to happen, Wiz. You're wrong. History's right. That ain't going to happen. That's going to happen. Then you need to get bullish right now. Buy everything with both hands. Look at Microsoft. Very rare do you see a day with Microsoft down 4% or whatever. Getting destroyed. This is... The tech wreck is just nuts. 5%. Holy shit, man. Let's put it, this looks like the S&P 500. Look at Microsoft. I was trading the hell out of that pandemic. I had thousands of shares of Microsoft. Hundreds of thousands of dollars. No thanks. There's a lot of altitude for this thing to fall. I think it breaks 200. You want a tech to pound into the dirt? It's Microsoft. It's going to keep going. Everything. I think Amazon's getting hammered again today. Down another 2%, man. Not going to beat a dead horse. Look at this, guys. I said this yesterday, we're at pandemic bottoms. If you liked it up here, you love it here. Didn't want to be right about this, but I'm $3.90 away from being right. I told you 6 months ago, Amazon will see 80. I feel 80 before it does anything else. There we go. What else to brief real quick? This is a Gallup. This ain't Wiz talking at cocktail parties. Deep down where you don't talk about at cocktail parties. Colonel Jessup. Americans are largely pessimistic about U.S. prospects in 2023. This is the wealth effect, ladies and gentlemen. When you ain't feeling good, you're not spending, you're not investing. This is bad. Contrary to what I said yesterday, well, not contrary. I was chopping around yesterday with what? Q4 earnings, which we're about to enter. I don't think companies got their sales trimmed the way they need to be to go up. Eventually, Gordon Gekko will step into Amazon and go, I love that they got rid of tens and thousands of employees. They're automating shit. It's gutted so much. Now I'm going to buy it. It's not right now, folks. The Microsoft, the Amazons, the Tesla. Another pat on the back for Wiz. Years ago, I said, If you're buying Tesla for Elon Musk, I agree it might be $100 million stock. If it's a car company, it's $100 stock, if that. It's $100 stock. Nailed Amazon 80, nailed Tesla 100. When John Thomas is agreeing with me on Tesla, you know the world's about to end. So Americans, ladies and gentlemen, very, very pessimistic. Read, I put it right there, read the Gallup poll. It's bearish. Again, you can be the contrarian. Everybody's bearish. I'm going to be bullish. Good luck. So Michael Berry, the big short, the U.S. is in a recession. No, it's not. You're fake news and we're going to ban you. You see Adam Schiff? What a horrible human being. You see the latest Twitter file dumps? Even Twitter at a certain point's like, no, we're not going to do that. Adam Schiff was going after, they were doing all of his bidding, and finally somebody's like, dude, okay. Adam Schiff, last month, when he and Elon got into a little spat, I love free speech, and I don't agree with censorship. Do you? And here are the Twitter files. Adam Schiff was going after everybody, and they were listening to him. So here's what's interesting. This is why Michael Berry agrees with Wiz. The Fed, ladies and gentlemen, like we talked about yesterday, will pause, and then the pivot, they're going to cut. The Federal Reserve right now, ladies and gentlemen, is like the airline industry. Airlines hire pilots until they furlough a shitload of them, and then they furlough pilots until they are breaking and have to hire pilots. The Fed's going to raise. I think they might do a half a pause like, holy shit, and now we got to cut. Which will cause what? Another inflation spike. Ladies and gentlemen, this is literally the airline cycle. Hire till you furlough till you hire. We are screwed. Speaking of 2008, another ego moment, Wiz was right. The Options News Network, I warned the Fed, Ben Bernanke at the time, do not do this. George Bush, C average, cocaine, drunk. Oh, but my Secretary of the Treasury, who ran Goldman Sachs, ran into my office and said, if you don't jump in to save capitalism, capitalism is going to end. I said, don't do it. Don't do it. And here we are. Things need to be able to fail. Banks need to fail. People need to fail. Investments need to fail. The Pope saying hell does not exist. Everybody goes out and parties. So this is the same thing that's going to happen here, ladies and gentlemen. The Fed is screwed because they're not going to make us take our medicine. They're going to end up, and you know, this year, guys, another prediction of mine is they're going to raise the net. If you can't hit the ball over the net, what do I say? Lower the net. They're going to raise the net. Do you remember Jerome in his last press conference? Somebody teed it up for him perfectly. Well, are you guys just going to raise your target rate from 2%? No, we'd never do that. If I had a list of all the things the Fed said were fact or they wouldn't and then changed, it's a waste of time. 2023, the Federal Reserve, just like they changed the definition of recession, the Federal Reserve will raise the target rate. Can't hit the ball over the net, roll inverted, and raise the net. Okay, we need to trade. Tech layoffs are happening faster than any time during the pandemic. Wow. Areas that were largely spared in 2020 are now among those with the largest number of cuts. Don't let that sink in, guys. The tech wreck is going to keep going. It is not over. Apple yesterday closed below 2 trillion market cap. Remember the days of all these headlines, and this looks like the S&P 500, guys, doesn't it? Look at that, man. Wow. Apple has a shitload more to go, folks. Again, let's draw this. This is all fake. That's fake and not reality. This probably would have been reality. COVID, Fed, unprecedented. What would have been precedented was flying to Beijing with a mask on, handing them a $10 trillion invoice and saying, that's due like upon receipt. And I just gave it to you. We shouldn't have paid for this, but that's all right. We're cowards. Hunter Biden flies on Air Force Two with his dad to China. I never asked him why he was on that trip with me. Oh, what a great father. 20-hour trip over and back. I have no idea what he was doing in China. I had dinner with, what's his name? Jim Biden here in Boca Raton at New York Prime at one of my mafia dinners. Scuzzy. And it's creepy because he looks exactly like Joe Biden. Scumbag. It's the name, and it was gross. So, correction. Good. Yeah, JP, man. So you want to pound stuff into the dirt right now? I've been beating the drums on our SPX treads, which are great. Pound Apple, pound Microsoft, pound Amazon, pound the fagums into the dirt. Not going to call it Meta or Alphabet. It's Facebook and Google. Pound them, pound them, pound them. February is going to be even worse. Get bearish on all of those. All right, we briefed this ad nauseum. This goes along with the Gallup thing that I already shared is inflation. Just taking, it's real. People are sick of it. It's done. It's over with. People have had it with inflation. And we're not doing anything about it. We're on round number 20 of trying to debrief or trying to get a speaker, and the Republicans just can't do anything. All right, here we go. We already talked about FXI. I'm going to do a weekly trade. We're in weekly options. Bear call spread, man. Hold on. Let me just check the flight schedule the rest of the week. It's iffy. So you know what? I 3 minutes over, but we got to keep going because I'm a 50 delta on a weekly options trade. Why? I already briefed you. We got the Fed minutes at 2. You know what? I'm not. So there isn't a weekly options trade. I'm done. I'm not doing anything. I've learned my lesson about the Fed minutes. They could be bullish. They could be hawkish. They could be dovish. You know what? I'm not gambling because the rest of the week, folks, we got ADP tomorrow. And then if you see ADP on a Thursday, it's usually Wednesday, but Monday the market was closed. What do we get on Friday? You got it. Say it with me. Boom. Non-farm payroll, average hourly earnings, the unemployment rate. This will be a big market mover. You want to know why? We've been in a 3850, 3800 waiting for the jobs number. If it comes in blindingly good, that's going to happen. Wait, that makes no sense. It makes total sense. If it comes in horrible, that will happen. That makes no sense. It makes total sense. If it doesn't make sense to you, you're brand new here. And welcome. Go watch other briefs to get up to speed. This is why we're in a range right now. Most of my briefs and a lot of people I talk to, they're like, "Oh yeah, waiting for the first jobs report of the new year." Okay. Hang on, let me read some of these. Okay. Okay. So, Matt, good question. The VIX, nothing. I got nothing on the VIX, man. we are going to hang out, right? Let's take a look at the VIX. We're due for something, right? This is the S&P 500 right here in a holding pattern. We get a good jobs number, a blisteringly hot jobs number, we're going to get that. If we get a horrible jobs number, that's what the market's going to like that. We might even get the VIX going down. I got nothing on the VIX, baby. It would be a gamble. I'm in a holding pattern right now. Tony, XOM. We can talk about some XOM. Mid-course guidance. I'm not sure what you mean by mid-course guidance. We could do. I'm bullish, still bullish on XOM. If you're in a synthetic long, you should be selling front month calls against that. Are there any crude reports this week? Challenger final. 11 on Thursday. 11 on Thursday. Tony, I don't have that one in front of me, man, because I'm in the weekly options portfolio here. If you're Tony, if you're looking at refresh my memory, bro. If you're looking at a 70, 80, 90% profit on the credit that you took in, I would close it. If you're asking about a bull put spread and it's looking good, out. I'd get out. So I can't remember what it's doing. Oh yeah. Oh, awesome, man. What's the JP or Tony? What's the expiration? So don't treat it as don't treat an iron condor as an iron condor. Tony, the way you broke it up is exactly the way you do it. You have two spreads on Exxon. Oh, I remember this. What an idiot, man. So it expire Friday, right? So options expire on Fridays, unless they're like SPX or something like that. So I forgot about that trade. What did I ever get filled on that? I forget what portfolio is that in, and I forgot. If it's going right down the middle, I wouldn't, do as I say, not as I do. If each spread, okay, thanks, Sledge. If each spread is looking is at a 7 or 8, 9, close them, man. So that trade expired. So Tony, here's a perfect example of why to close a 7, 8, 9 Friday. And I'm glad you asked about it when you did, because look, man, if we get a jobs number on Friday that's either blindingly good or blindingly bad, we're going to get a big move. And Exxon's not going to be immune to the market breaking out of this. Something's going to give, guys, and it's the jobs report on Friday. I guarantee you. Doing this for 3 decades, man, it's Friday. My mastermind group's like, yeah, a holding pattern, it's the jobs number on Friday. If it's good, market ain't going to dig it. And we're probably going to see one of these legs down. If it's awful, the market's going to love that. Isn't that weird? And it's going to be fun to watch this. This is why you're here. It's the exact opposite of what 99.9% of traders, retail investors are going to think. That's why you're here. So, good question. Oh, God, no. I would not do a straddle for Friday. You want to look at the straddle. Yeah, that's a good point. January 6th. The worst day in American history. I will be in a moment of silence that entire day. Worse than Pearl Harbor and 9/11 combined. Okay. January 6th. We are at 38.20. We're literally in between two strikes, which sucks. So this is not going to be perfect. Wow. This is about a $65 to $70 straddle. Wow. Look at that. $70 straddle. I said $65 to $70 straddle. It's about 70. That is a massive straddle, ladies and gentlemen. So the options market is pricing that the top of Elizabeth Warren's TP. So a low of 37.55 and a high of 38.94. That is a massive straddle for 3.5 days. And this is where our brief, which is 11 minutes long, comes together. This is the brief where you go, if you're just an options trader looking at volatility and stuff like that, you would go, oh my God, that straddle is massive. What's going on? And we just spent 41 minutes talking about what's going on. And then we look at SOT, strategic, operational, tactical. We can look at the straddle and go, I totally know why you can drive a truck through that at the money straddle. So again, this is one of those, this is a no-fly zone for me. I'm a little older, even though I'm infinity and a lot wiser. You want to do like a really wide iron condor or trade this straddle or do all sorts of stuff, knock yourself out, man. I'm good. I love watching the machinations of the S&P 500 today, where we had this up, down, and we're going to hover until 2 o'clock. Watch it. Look at this. Gap up, gap down, hover. 38.25, rated at $25 point, and we're going to sit here. We might get a little bit of a run into the announcement, and then it's going to be off to the races. COP, if really don't have anything to cover on that, I'm not going to throw a trade over my shoulder since we're 12 minutes late. Sell some at the money calls if you're in the synthetic long. Sell some. I forget how many contracts we have. I think I have 5 in another portfolio. Again, I don't like doing this, throwing shit over my shoulders. We leave. We're in weekly options. Should have stayed in weekly options, but sell some at the money calls. With the crude report tomorrow, I'm not going to throw a trade on walking out the door. Good looking iron condor candidate, however. But everything is. Folks, again, one more time. You ready? 38.50 to 3,800 has been perfect iron condor territory because we're waiting for the jobs report on Friday. I would not do anything on COP except, and even, selling the short calls, folks. You got to be Johnny on the spot in case you sell some short calls, maybe the 115s. You sell 5 of the 115s. You got to keep an eye on them on Friday, man. If we get something that gives us a rip your face off rally, you don't want to get blown out on these short calls. Okay. Is that good? 14 minutes over, man, on weekly options. I had mission creep. I went into stuff that the only weekly option shit I should have talked about today essentially was SPX. And like I just said, we're probably going to get a little bit of a run, which we're doing right now. Fire maybe a sniper down here. We're going to get a little bit of a run. Look at this. A little bit of a run into the announcement, and then it's going to be an absolute shit show. Up, down, sideways. What's the middle right there? 38.20? 38.20. Is there premium in that? I'd do if you want to snipe, it would be right now, and it would be right now as this thing gaps. Boom, I'd fire this one. The 2015. Fire that one. Look at that, dude. Literally 2.5, 3 minutes ago, I said, we'll probably get a run into, does the market listen to me? 2.5, now 4 minutes ago, I said, we'll probably get a run into the announcement. Boom, boom. And now it's run away from me. Holy shit, look at that. My ability to manifest stuff is just fantastic. I'm joking. Actually, no, I'm not. You can manifest. You can do good work. God is great. That's what I'd snipe right there. Boom. These $25 in the S&P 500 are magnets, folks. This is why I dropped. You should be dropping $25 lines in on your chart, 2-minute chart. Nice, strong gap up, man. Anytime you get an SPX spike, the VIX will collapse. Yep. Boom. SPX up, VIX down. 80% of the time when the market goes up, the VIX will go down. It's that 20% of the time that makes you an awesome trader when you understand. So that obviously ran away from me. Could have made 20 cents already. So if you're good in these live trade briefs, when I tell you, when I'm looking at my other screens and doing shit, it's listen to me. And it's still run. Well, there you go. I fired it $1.50 and now it's already up 30 cents. You could have made $450 in 7 minutes. All right. Well, that ran away from me. Well, it just got filled. $1.30. Cool. All right. You know what? Well, how about let me grab a screenshot of that and I can text that out and email that out as the trade. I got to do it quick because so listen, you ready? Warning, Will Robinson, get out of it. I would not hold that through the Fed meeting. No. Take a quick couple $100 or whatever you can get and get out. I would not hold it through the Fed. You can hold it. I'm talking about me. I would not hold it through the Fed meeting. Holding it through, let's all be honest, holding it through the Fed meeting is gambling. It can work out for you and you hit the max profit. Yay. It can also destroy you and you lose $5,500. I don't do these in Susie's personal account. I tend to do them in mine. So whether it's this training account or my personal accounts, I would not hold them through the Fed meeting. That's dumb. Okay. I got to do better, guys. 28 minutes too long. Tony, they get released. They don't read them. They release them. They're released at 2:00. So, and look at that. Nice little pop, and it's going to keep running. So I might, there's a nice little, and it's starting to run. What are these phantom trades in here? I got to clean this account up. Tony, they're fired at 2. They're released on the Fed's website. But if you mean they read them, meaning computers and algorithms, you're right. They read them within like a nanosecond and fire trades. It's a pretty cool. It's like the drones over Ukraine, man. It's war without humans and it's trading without humans. There will be a world without humans soon enough. Ever watch that Spielberg movie, AI? It's kind of creepy with Haley Joe. What's the name? Haley Joe Osment. Good movie. All right, guys, I got to go. I will text this out. I'm leery about texting it out because I'll write it down. I would not hold this through a Fed meeting. They got just be careful. Okay. All right, guys, good stuff. I'm going to get going. Let me text this out. make sure you register for Full Throttle, and you also tell your friends. Put the ladder down. Help your family and friends out to get them in the squadron, man. Let's all, and especially people because it's now we got an even better squadron. I love the friends we've become and the relationships we've developed. Only going to get better throughout the years. Like I said yesterday, I want to do at least one in-person event this year for all of our TGO folks and all get together. It was a good time when a lot of you were down here for the first look. So we're going to try and do something like that again, especially since a lot of you are up in the upper 48. Okay. All right, guys. Have a great rest of your day. Happy hunting. Make sure you hedge. God bless. Fights on. And namaste. I'll get the replay posted shortly. See you tomorrow.